Hello YouTube. Today on Limited Run Kits Corner, I have for your reviewing pleasure a 1:4 scale Verlinden Productions of the Mauser Kar 98 German rifle. This is kit number 657. And so let's take a look here and see what the kit is made up of. This is actually the only bit of documentation that came with my kit. Have here the color callouts. You can kind of go off of reference photos to do those and to weather it up however you would like for the patina. You have your main stock here. You have your trigger guard, your bolt, the rear part of the actual main bolt itself for the Mauser action. You have your chamber, start of the barrel here, and then the remaining part of the barrel. You have a hood for your front sight, as well as your bayonet, scope mount, and 3-piece scope up there. So pretty straightforward. Doesn't look like that big of a issue to build until you realize this is, as Verlinden mostly is, 100% resin. So take care when it comes to for health and safety, things like that. Also, adhering things to, 2 parts of resin isn't always the easiest unless you use super glues and things like that. So, but taking a look here at the actual stock itself. So pretty plain, things like that. You have main magazine well here. Have cut out for these sling to go through. Little bit of engraved panel lining for the wood grain. Probably would want to either kind of smooth that out or something, and then just use colors to kind of mark it up, because those would definitely be way out of scale, even for 1/4 scale, to make this look like a real rifle. Also, as I do have the camera zoomed in, it may look larger than it, or smaller than it actually is. So this is a Tamiya extra thin bottle, so you can see about the length of just the stock, or the rear end of the stock there. And we got 2 bags of bits here. I'll set that 1 bag out of the way. Open up this bag of bits. So you have your rear bolt, your chamber area, as well as the rear end of the barrel, rear sight. Nice representation of the German. So get that to lock in a little bit better. And there we go. The roller coaster style sight. So have to carefully cut that out. And this is the front end of your barrel. Light bit of bend, as you can see there, in the barrel itself, which is kind of annoying, but with resin it does happen. Have the top part of the handguard here, which again has that wood grain. Have a couple of parts here. You have the hood for your scope mount. A couple of other little bits for it. Primary bolt. Nice rounded bolt handle there. Have your scope, both the eyepiece and the main glass on the other end. So really nice and smooth on that. Have the main tube of the actual scope. Have your scope mount here. Trigger guard. And the trigger was on one of those other sprues. The rear part to your bolt. And then the blade of the bayonet, which you can see is really bent. Some hot water usually will, a little bit of pressure can get those straightened out. And then the actual handle to the bayonet itself. So again, put this into comparison, the bayonet is wider than a Tamiya extra thin bottle. kick autofocus off here. Hopefully most of that I tried to keep in focus if I could. So yeah, pretty, like I said, basic kit. However, by it being resin, obviously does increase some of the challenge to the build itself. So hopefully you have enjoyed this review of the Verlinden Productions Kar 98 rifle.